I'm going to teach you how to transform that cream cheese lid into this beautiful piece here.
So to start here, since this lid has a lower bottom part, so it stays fuller and our little face doesn't look sunken in, I'm going to apply some hot glue here. And then I'll add a little bit of stuffing to give it volume and make it reach more or less the level of this top edge here, okay? Right along this little rim. So, I apply the hot glue right here on the bottom. Look, I applied the hot glue on the bottom. You don't need a lot of hot glue, but spread it all around this area. And then I'm going to add, look, just a little bit of stuffing. It doesn't need to be much stuffing. Place it here and distribute it nicely so the entire bottom is well covered. Another thing, Kelia, I don't have these exact lids that you're using there from cream cheese containers. But guys, you can recycle another lid more or less like this, or you can make it out of cardboard, just like I've already taught in several projects here, making little faces using cardboard. So I'm going to measure this for you, so you'll know, and if you don't have it, you can use cardboard. Use a thicker cardboard, like box cardboard, those large boxes, so it's firmer, okay? And you'll do it the same way. This circle here, this lid has a circle of 7 centimeters in diameter. So you can cut the same measurement in cardboard if you want the size, okay? So I wanted to take advantage and reuse these lids that come on cream cheese cups, tomato paste, corn, also those little glass cups. They're very useful, and we're taking things that would harm nature, our environment, and we're using them here to make cute little creations. So I've already glued the stuffing in place, just so it stays attached and doesn't move around. It's ready, look. It's not a lot of stuffing. Now let's cut a circle the size of a CD, guys. Take an old CD that you've already discarded and keep it to use for crafts. It's also great for tracing shapes. This circle here has a measurement of 12.5 centimeters, okay? So what did I do? I cut a circle with this 12.5 centimeters diameter measurement, so we can cover our lid. I placed 2 threads, look, kite string, to make a reinforced running stitch all around the circle so we can fit the lid inside. All done, I made the stitch, found both ends, and now we're going to insert the lid here with the stuffing part facing downward like this. I take it and pull the thread closed. I make a knot here to help tighten it and close it. I didn't cut it too close. I left a little tail, see? And now look how it turns out. See? The stuffing keeps the middle from sinking in because the center of the lid is deeper. So it looks like this. Now we're going to take another circle the same size as the CD, 12.5 centimeters in diameter, and cut it in the fabric you chose, like cotton fabric. I'm using Fernando Malloy fabric. I ironed it because it was a bit wrinkled, and now we'll do it the same way. I took the 12.5 centimeter circle. If your fabric has a right and wrong side, you start on the right side and stitch around it the same way we did with the batting, okay? Just like that. Stitch, insert, and tie it, leaving the center part nicely in the middle. Look, guys, I'll show you. I stitched it the same way as the batting, found the 2 ends, placed the lid inside, and now we're going to make a knot so we can pull it tight. Pull carefully so it doesn't break, and so it stays nicely stretched. Then we tie another knot to secure it. Done. I'm going to finish it off. Look at this little cookie shape it makes, guys. It's already stretched nicely, but what I still like to do is, I take it to the iron, not too hot, and press all around so it looks smooth and well finished. You can press a little on the back too, okay? So it stays smoother. The batting has glue, right? Batting R1 or R2. If it's in contact with the fabric, when you press it, it will bond to the fabric and become smoother. That's what I think. And underneath too, pressing will glue the fabric to the batting, making it flatter and reducing bulk in the back, so later we can finish it nicely. Now we'll check the correct side and direction of the fabric weave. Then you take the little pouch, the famous pouch. You'll use the wax crayon, which I've taught many times in videos, and you'll add rosy cheeks to our little cookie face. Take your pouch made of fabric and make circular motions on the cheek area. Apply on one side, then the other. Guys, this wax crayon is just a normal children's wax crayon, okay? A lot of people always ask, what crayon is that? It's just a regular school crayon for kids to color with. This one is from this brand and I really like it, but any brand works. It's not oil-based or anything, just the cheap, simple kind. You can even buy a small set with 6 colors and pick the red and pink. Brown is also a color I really like to use. And look, once you've done this with the cheeks nice and rosy, you take what's left and shade all around the edge of our little cookie face. Now it's time to add this little icing, which in this case is our RAC trim around the cookie. You can use brown if you want it to look like chocolate icing, or you can use yellow to make it look like vanilla, okay? And you can also use other colors too, not necessarily only white. This RAC here is, I think, the medium size. There's a thinner one and a wider one as well that you can find. The wider one is harder to find. At least in my city it's more difficult. So I buy the medium size, and sometimes I find the wider one in other colors, like red, but I still haven't found the white one. Look, this one here is the smaller size. You can use it too, see? Let me see, it looks like it's basically the same size, see? And you could use the yellow one to make it like vanilla icing. I'm going to use the white one because I chose red fabric with white polka dots, so to match it, I'll use white icing, which is the white RAC trim. So you'll play around with it and place your RAC. You won't put it right on the edge. You'll place it a little lower. You can see what looks best, what you like, but it's about here, see? Let's put a tiny dot of glue right in the center here, close to the edge, and later we'll finish the back. I'll come here, let it dry a little so we can stretch it and it won't come loose. I'm going to hold it here where I'll start, mark it, and I'll add little small dots of glue. Guys, you don't need to overdo the glue. Keep it nicely stretched. I'm holding it here and now look. Be careful not to glue it in the wrong place. Pay attention so you don't stain it with hot glue, because it can leave marks. Then you go around to the back and finish it off. You just try to keep it more or less at the same height on both sides. Then we finish it here too, and cut off the excess RAC. So now that it's on, let's make the face of our ginger. I come here at about this height. Let me measure around 4.5 centimeters, something like that. And at this height, we measure the center of the face. I'll measure from this edge of the RAC to the side here, which gives about 6.5 centimeters. So from here to here, I found the middle. From the center mark to one side I mark 1 centimeter, and from the center mark to the other side I mark another centimeter. I'll make a little circle here. Let me remove this glue thread. Now, guys, you can make a little nose like I did on the other piece that I'll show you. Or you can also use this little button here, see? This button has this little loop on the back. You can cut that loop off so it becomes flat. I ruined my scissors doing that. Don't do that, okay? And then you can even sand it a bit so it's more flush. Take sandpaper and rub it, a coarse sandpaper. And then you can sew or glue the button on, see? It looks really cute and it's easy to do sometimes. And guys, I've already taught how to make a ginger face. Let me grab it here. This one here I painted using wax crayon. I shaded it using a little brush, just like I've already taught you. And I also outlined it with a black micron pen. We draw it like this. Let me draw it for you. If you're going to do it drawn instead, you come here and make a little oval shape. Not a perfect circle, it looks prettier for painting. Then you color it, apply the wax crayon. I'll even apply some here because I want to shade it. Then it's like I'm doing this. I take the brush and I blend it to make it look really nice. And you shade all around so the nose doesn't look flat. You can also use colored pencils, paint it, and then outline it with a brown micron pen all around. And it will look like this, see? Like this. This one here, guys, I'm going to do differently. I'll use this little button nose, so if you have it or you can find it, you can make a different version and have 2 options. Just apply hot glue. I'll erase this mark and glue this button nose here. It looks so cute. Look at that. I erased it, and now I'm going to glue this nose right here. Put the glue only in the middle, because when you press it to glue, if you put glue too close to the edges, it will ooze out around it and look messy. So just put it in the center. Let me add just a tiny bit more. Okay, now I find the center, place it, and hold it so it sticks well. To make the eyes, I took black fabric paint and my dotting tool. You can also use a paint dot tool if you're used to making eyes with it. No problem. Use whatever you're comfortable with. Make a little dot. It can be oval, it can be longer, it can even be a closed smiling eye. You can make many different styles so your customers can choose. This is a piece that can decorate the kitchen, placed in special little corners. Take beautiful photos and post them on your Instagram stories, WhatsApp stories, status. Put lots of love into your piece, because I'm sure you'll sell a lot. With faith in God, it will bring good sales for you. I've painted the eyes. Now I let them dry, and now we're going to make the eyebrow. You can make it straight like I did on the other one, or you can make it like this, to add charm and create a little difference from one piece to another, okay? And you can test and see what people like best. See how it gives her such a cute little expression? Then you can make the mouth, just a tiny drop. You can make it smiling like the other one, or you can come here and make a little sideways smile, that shy, sweet smile, which looks really adorable too. Look at that, guys. Super easy to do, and it gives a unique touch from one to another. See? It already looks different. Then you'll see what your customers like most. Sometimes they even buy two, right? One in one style, one in another style. You can match colors and sell them as a pair. Guys, make these and sell them at a very affordable price, and you'll see how much demand there is for them. I took my brown pen, the Micron Brown 005, and now I'm going to go over the eyebrow, right on top of the line we drew with the disappearing marker. Super easy. I'll come down here to the mouth too. Now I'll do the eyelashes. I'll make this one a little longer. But wait until the paint is completely dry first, otherwise it won't write well, like mine here. You have to wait. Now I take my little brush, remove the excess, add a bit of blush, and shade the eyebrow softly, always removing the extra. You can also use colored pencil to do the shading. On the eyelashes too, very lightly, okay? Without harsh marks. Now I'll take my white fabric paint to add the highlight in the eye. I place it on the outer part on one side, and also on the inside. Look how much it changes. I can add a tiny dot here too, and a little soft shading. I added a bit on the nose and wiped off the excess. Sometimes it can come off, but since this nose is more matte, it holds better and takes longer to fade. Look how cute it is. So now, to finish the back of our little head, I'm going to use cardboard, box cardboard, with a diameter of 6 centimeters. I'll also cut a circle of the same fabric I used for the face with an 8 centimeter diameter. And we'll stitch around it the same way, using kite string. Insert the cardboard circle, close it and secure it, just like we did before, but here we don't need batting. I'll place this part here, so there's no risk of it showing. This is disappearing marker and I'll erase it. Now that the cardboard is covered, what will I do? I'll take 30 centimeters of ribbon. You can use ribbon, you can use string. There are colorful strings, red and white ones. I don't have that one here, so I'll use this one. But you can also use raw cotton cord, which looks beautiful too. And this cord tip I want to share with you. If you want, you can make this piece to hang on a Christmas tree, or place it on a wreath, or in a corner, or make a mobile with several little faces. This face can decorate a can. You can paint a can and attach it as an ornament. So there are many ways to use this piece, including as a hanging ornament for Christmas, okay? So now we'll add the ribbon or cord. If it's for a Christmas ornament, the loop can be smaller. This one is longer because we're going to hang it on the spoon. So I'll put glue inside, insert the ends, and make sure this little loop is well glued so we can hang it. Now we'll attach the back piece. Remember, don't put too much glue on the edge so it doesn't overflow. I place glue in the center. Even though the center is hollow, we'll fit the cardboard cookie right in the middle and hold it until it sticks. If you want, you can make invisible stitches for an even better finish, sewing fabric to fabric. It looks amazing. Use thread matching the fabric color for a perfect finish. I won't do that now because it would take too long. Invisible stitching needs to be done very neatly, close together, without pulling. But with glue, it already looks good too. Look at this. You could make a whole wreath full of little faces. So cute, who would have thought? A lid that was going to the trash became such an adorable piece. Now to make the collar, it's like a little ruffle. You can use wide lace, glitter tulle, it would look beautiful. Or cotton fabric like I'm using. You can also use organza. My fabric strip here is 5 centimeters by 35 centimeters. If you want, you can add lace, RAC, whatever decoration you like. Add more details, it will look even prettier. I'll leave mine with a raw edge. I place right sides together, add a little glue at the edge, overlap it, and join it. It's as if it were sewn. After it dries, I turn it inside out and look at the finish. There's a loose thread here, I'll cut it. If you have a sewing machine and want to stitch lace on, you can. I'm doing everything more handmade without using the machine. So even people who don't have one can make this and earn some extra money at the end of the year, give gifts, or decorate their home. If you have more experience in a machine, you can add crochet lace too. Use what you know and what you have to enhance your work. Now I'll stitch around the middle, all the way around, until I reach the starting point. I got to the other side, tied a knot. I didn't tighten it completely yet because I need to adjust it. I won't squeeze it to make it pointy. I just bring one end close to the other gently and tie it off. You can cut a longer tail or make a strong finish so the knot won't come undone. I like to secure it well and leave a longer tail. Later, if it gets in the way, we can trim it after the next layer is glued. Now the collar is formed. We open it so it stays nice and wide. That's why we don't pull too tight. Then we glue it here at the edge. Not like this. We glue only at the tip, about 2 centimeters. Align both sides so one isn't higher than the other. Then we place the collar. And in the center part, where we only glued in the middle, we add a little glue. We do the same on the other side. Add a little glue and tuck your finger inside. So, like I said, there are many possibilities. I'm making this as a kitchen decoration, to sell at fairs, and offer to customers. It's a quick piece, great for fabric scraps and recycling. I bought the spoon at an imported goods shop for about 5 reais, for 0.99 Brazilian reals. It's 30 centimeters long, made from reforested wood. You can easily find these in those cheap import stores. Now I'll remove the sticker. I kept it to show you the size. And now we're going to glue our piece onto the spoon. Almost finished. Apply glue, leaving about 2 to 3 centimeters from the tip. Don't apply too much yet, because we don't know the exact length. If needed, we add more later. Now we place the head right in the center. Adjust the spoon so it stays straight. Glue it right in the middle and hold it firmly so it sticks. Done. If you want extra security, so it won't come loose, since it's only glued to the wood, here's what you can do. I took 2 leftover thread ends from stitching the collar. With matching thread, I pass underneath, catching the fabric-covered cardboard and making 2 little stitches. This makes it very secure. The head won't come off. The weight is on the doll part, and it's well glued, so it's safe. But this is an extra reinforcement. If you want, you can also add something hanging here to disguise and decorate. It doesn't look like a bad finish. Just don't let glue overflow on the sides or onto the wood. Now I'll make a rustic bow with several strands. I didn't even count, let me see. For 7/8 strands. It makes a thicker bow. I'll fray the ends to keep it rustic. Then I glue it underneath for charm and also as a finish. Guys, I noticed something I did wrong. I didn't tuck the collar inside between the cardboard and the head. I glued it to the head first before adding the back finish. I was focused on teaching you and forgot to tuck the collar. You can tuck both the ribbon and the collar inside. First place the ribbon, then the collar, then glue the back cover. Otherwise, it will show outside. Look, I made a mistake. But that's okay. We make mistakes. And a lot. If you think I never make mistakes, you're wrong. Now I'll add this bow to match the red. Look, I added a little golden button. It could also be green or any other color. And here I added this decorated wooden button. It looks adorable. Look at that. This one ended up with a slightly bigger skirt because I tucked it in less. So you can adjust the size however you want.